Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this second part of the Unmatched Fury figure series review. Now yesterday we had a look at series 1, 2 and 3, and in this video we're going to take a look at series 4, 5 and 6. And what's really cool about these figures, they're not made by Mattel, they're actually made by Jakks. They came out in the 2000s and they had no articulation, but they were really highly detailed. I actually had one of these. I had a John Cena one when he was in the middle of a 5-knuckle shuffle. And yeah, I thought it was really cool. I didn't realise they'd made so many until I was doing a bit more research into the series. They made over 15 series, and each series had 4 figures in it. So yeah, it's about 60 figures. But yeah, some of these are so awesome. I didn't realise. So I saw a lot in yesterday's video that I thought were really cool. And if you want to check that out, there's a link in the description to yesterday's video. But we're going to have a look at series 4, 5 and 6 in this one. So let's get straight to it. Let's have a look at series 4. So in series 4, we've got Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Perfect, Ric Flair and Umaga. And the Umaga figure, awesome detail on this. I think they've really captured the Samoan bulldozer in this figure. He is big, he is imposing, he's quite scary. The tattoo detail on this thing is really impressive. I love the nose ring, the necklace. I think the pose as well, it's great. Really comes across that he was big and imposing, and I think they did a great job. Another one that I think they did a great job with, Ric Flair. Woo! I need this figure. I absolutely love the look of this. I think they've got him styling and profiling. I think the face sculpt on it looks really good. The hair sculpt looks really accurate. Never the most adventurous ring attire because he always had fantastic robes. So it might have been a nice idea for them to have done him just stepping into the ring, showing off one of his robes. If they're not doing that, then this is probably the second best thing they could have done, and that's him strutting in the middle of the ring, styling and profiling, the nature boy. So yeah, awesome face sculpt, awesome hair sculpt, an awesome figure. And they continue, Mr. Perfect. I mean, this figure could be perfect. Love the little stage on it with the ropes. I think that really finishes this figure off. Obviously, he's got the singlet. The body looks cool. The ring attire looks cool. Boots look cool. I think the face on this looks absolutely incredible. Looks just like him. Hair is perfect. It's really good. I can't praise it enough. I really like the look of this figure. The final one in series 4 is Ken Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy. And this is cool. The only downside to this is that, he wasn't really a massive player in WWE. He wasn't really around, for very long. So, yeah, I'm not sure how many Mr. Kennedy fans there are out there these days. So, not sure this is going to be essential for everybody, but I do think they've done a good job with it. Very animated in the face. And obviously he's got the mic in his hands so that he can do his entrance where he goes, Kennedy! Maybe some of you youngsters that aren't familiar with Mr. Kennedy, maybe check him out on the network. I think you might enjoy his entrances in particular. But this is a cool little figure. And I think actually this was a really cool series. Next up, we got Series 5, and this is just rammed full of legends. So we start off with Bobby Lashley, who you could argue is a little bit of a legend, with everything that he's achieved with MMA and TNA, and obviously he was in some high-profile matches in WWE. But then we get really into the legends. You got Mankind, and then you've got The Rock, and then you've got Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, wow. I mean, we might as well stay on Stone Cold. I think this is a decent figure. There are actually better Stone Cold figures to come in this series. I think it captures, you know, Stone Cold really well. And I should imagine a lot of people went out and bought this. I should imagine a lot of people had this in their homes. Another one that I bet a lot of people had in their homes was this Rock figure. Now, I have seen this figure a few times, few different images. Sometimes it looks awesome, like I think this picture looks, and sometimes it looks really cheap and not that good. So I can't decide if this is okay, good, great. I mean, is it a great figure of the great one? I don't know. This image, in my opinion, makes it look great. But as I said, I have seen images which maybe don't do it such a good service. So, yeah, if you've got this, I'd be interested to know your thoughts on it. I've never actually seen this figure, so I can only judge from the pictures. But I would approach this figure with caution as a result. One that I wouldn't approach with caution, Mankind. Look how much fun this looks. Like, imagine that just on your shelf. I think it looks really cool. You got Mr. Socko. You got wonderful mask detail. You've got like the smiley faces on the tie. You know, there's loads like the shirt, the way the shirt falls. Just, it looks so realistic. It looks like he's in the middle of moving towards you with Mr. Socko. And that's what I'm saying. These figures were just so highly detailed. I'm really impressed with this. Really impressed. And then the final one, Bobby Lashley. Compared to that Mankind, it's a little dull. I mean, it's okay. Facial expression is, you know, focused. But, you know, he was never the most animated of people. So I suppose it's quite accurate. And the ring attire looks cool. I think the body type looks cool. It's fine. It's fine. It's just, it's not the greatest compared to some of the figures that we've seen or are about to see. Certainly when we hit Series 6. And in Series 6, we've got Eddie Guerrero, Kane, Randy Orton, and Roddy Piper. I mean, look at that Roddy Piper. A little bit off on the face. I think the nose, it's the nose. He also looks a little bit chubby in the face, but nothing disastrous. But the rest of this figure is just wonderful. Love the boots. I've always been a big fan of Roddy Piper's boots. They're just such an iconic colour. And then you've got like the blue knee pads. You got the kilt. You got the sporran. You've got the belt with the buckle detail, and then you've just got that absolutely iconic Roddy Piper hot rod t-shirt. Look at that. You know, and he's in the middle of, like, you know, a passionate kind of, I don't know if he's in the middle of, like, just stepping into the ring or if he's letting loose on Piper's pit. But, yeah, just a really cool figure. And, you know, a legend, an absolute legend. Next, Randy Orton. Great pose. What a pose this figure is in. The only other thing I could think they could do with a Randy Orton is, like, when he's getting ready to hit an RKO, you know, and he's down and he's like in Viper mode. I wouldn't have him in like an RKO position because it'll look weird because there won't be another person there unless he's like just springing up to hit it. But I think this makes a lot more sense. So really good pose, really good face sculpt on it. Body type looks really cool. Yeah, really like this. Next we've got Kane, and I've got to be honest, I think this looks silly. This looks like he's throwing his arms up, ready to throw them back down so that his pyro and the explosions go off. But out of that context, just looks like he's being held hostage. It just literally looks like someone's thrown something in his eyes and tied his hands up, and it doesn't work for me. This doesn't work. I think they could have had much better Kane figures. Certainly, I would have looked at putting him back in the mask and having it as more like a debut Kane. I think they might do that actually later into the series. But still, they could have gone with a different pose as well. This figure doesn't work for me. The final one in Series 6, an absolute legend, a bona fide legend, Eddie Guerrero. Really nice figure. It's pretty simple. You know, red attire, decent face scan, gold boots. I think look really cool. And you know, it's not the most adventurous of figures, but I just think it's nice that it's in the line. And if you was collecting these figures, certainly in the mid 2000s, I think you would want an Eddie Guerrero in there. Certainly, as we've already had a Rey Mysterio. So yeah, really, really cool. Awesome, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts. Have you got any of these figures? Are you interested by any of these figures? I've had a look online, and I can tell you on eBay they sell for like $30 to $50. You're probably talking roughly about the same in pounds. I'd say around the 25 to £50 mark. I'm not sure how much they were when they first came out. I think they was about $40, so they haven't really gone up in value. So yeah, you know, this is still something. If there's anything in there that you like the look of, should be able to pick it up relatively cheap. But you're definitely going to have to go to like eBay, Amazon, places like that, you know. You're not going to be finding these in Toys R Us anymore. But yeah, I like them. I think there's some better than others, which is unsurprising. But I think that there's some really interesting figures in there, and some really interesting figures to come. So we will do in our next video, we will have a look at series 7, 8 and 9. So yeah, really cool. If you enjoyed this, let me know, give the video a like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully I see you again next time. Bye for now.